ibxtoycat, and let me share a secret with you. This stream wasn't meant to happen, or at least it was meant to be something else entirely. I accidentally deleted the Mushroom Island Survival from a couple of days ago, a world I was really looking forward into turning into a mini-series, but I deleted it because I went through so many worlds this last week that were generic sounding, like, you know, the desert at spawn or jungle, and I assumed Mushroom was just one of those, and so I lost a world I really cared about, and so I've spent 45 minutes trying to recover it from backups, but it's gone now, and so instead I could either not stream, or I figured it might be more fun just to hang out in the Let's Play world and get to the bottom of some tasks I've been meaning to for some while. You know, this is the equivalent of being like, I'm sorry, I can't come out on stage tonight, but instead I could put on like my, you know, my cleaner, and maybe he could show you some cleaning tips. And so that's the equivalent today. Instead of doing Minecraft high stakes survival, can I beat the dragon? Let's do Minecraft, can I hang out in my world and organize it a bit better? Because there are all sorts of things I've been putting off forever. Let's do them today. So today is a Monday, really the best day of the week for doing stuff like this. And let's first of all deal with this shulker box. Indeed, let's deal with all the random shulker boxes chilling around here. This has just been there for so long, I've accepted it as part of the decoration, but it doesn't need to be that way. I think if I want to have a chest that is filled with 1.17 things, that's a weird thing for me to want, then I should just put it in a dedicated place, maybe in here somewhere, right? I mean, right over there makes at least some sense, although you can't put it there because of the thing, but just putting this somewhere in some dedicated spot, I think a barrel maybe would make some sense. It's just going to be so much better than leaving it hanging around forever, just endlessly. It's very, very, very weird. So, yeah, the 1.17 shulker is going to go away. These shulkers are going to finally be sorted and put into whichever chest they need to go in, and just so on and so forth. It's going to be wonderful. So, hello everyone, welcome to the live stream. This is going to be a bit of a weird one because I have no plan for where it's going or what we're doing, but I am going to be sorting through some pretty important things. So, first things first, we're going to grab a barrel. Honestly, I know they changed the barrel recipe, but I don't know what the new one is, so we're going to look at the barrel recipe. It's not going to be craftable right now. It's made from 6 planks, 2 slabs. So I find 6 planks, and oh, I've got so many slabs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll also find 6 planks at the same time. We'll use oak because it's just the most common. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and boom, just like that, I now have myself a barrel, and I could just deal with this 1.17 shulker box. I think sometimes having this time in your life where it's like, there's not an important thing to be done, you've just got to do the things that have been on your to-do list. It's so hard to give yourself time for them because I think this is, what's the word for this? Like, urgency is a thing that deliberately shows up in your life to tell you when to do things, and it makes sense that you don't want to go away from the urgent things and do less urgent things, but I think sometimes it's just like, okay, you gotta calm and realize that these things are just as important in their own little ways. And now this shulker box is finally empty. We can take it, and I guess we should probably label this. I think future me will understand perfectly, though. So next up, this is amazing progress for 2 minutes on a Mushroom Island, says David Salamano. Thank you very much. I know I'm doing great. I do wonder how fast or if, you know, I don't know if Harrison's here anymore. I wonder how fast we'll have a a thumbnail going, because it's gonna be a lot of fun even if we don't have one. But yeah, I'm gonna just finally get through the backlog basically, and by that I mean make an attempt at it because it's so big that we never actually will. But it's always good to give it a shot, right? So we'll throw our ore in here. I think that's actually a bad place for that, but that's fine. We'll put our lapis away in here because we have a dedicated lapis chest for some reason, and we also have a dedicated redstone chest. Worst mushroom biome I've seen, to be honest. I did have an idea, just to be goofy, of making a mushroom biome in my Let's Play world, but I did decide against it. But yeah, I think too often, not only do we not have time to get through important tasks like dealing with this chest, like, okay, I've got a bunch of tuff in here that obviously won't fit in this, so why don't I load out the tuff from in here into this shulker box? Then this can become the tuff shulker box, which is really good and wonderful, and then I just have to work out where to put the other stuff from this. Okay, so we've got blackstone, that goes in the nether. We've got sand, that has a place. Concrete powder is a bit of a weird one, but just like that, we've now made ourselves a tuff chest. Oh, there's blackstone back there. I don't know about that. But just doing these little things is going to help to organize our chests. Also, tuff is the most useless block. Change my mind. Tuff is really good for lots of good reasons. Oh, tuff is so good, let me tell you. But yeah, so I spent so long trying to work on getting the world fixed that I'm like using up most of my time that I can be around for. So I have a flight to catch early tomorrow morning. I've got something very fun that I've got planned. I'm fine. So that is not the right block. This is the right block. Do you see how like, by the way, look at the color palette here. Look how ridiculously similar these blocks look. I feel like we could do something with that if we wanted to, like blackstone into tough into some cobbled deep slate. That's a good idea, huh? And that's an idea I only had because I'm cleaning up. This is why cleaning is so important. Organization and Toycat. Who is this man and where did Andrew go? Got something fun planned for Tuesday, says Jen O. Why Tuesday? Should I have something fun planned for Tuesday? Are there fun things happening on Tuesday that I'm otherwise missing out on? It sure sounds like it the way you're talking about it. So this andesite is cleverly hiding in a gravel chest. Very cleverly hiding in there, when it should be in an andesite chest. It's an easy mistake to make. They look very similar as blocks, you've got to admit. These tough need to go in there, and then this 2 gravel can also hopefully fit in here, maybe in here. Oh god, we've got a big problem, which is that we have multiple chests loads of gravel. So here's the fun thing, chat. I think my next Minecraft challenge should be how many useless blocks can I get, you know, because the simple thing I used to do whenever I got too much grass or cobblestone was I would build something out of those. The whole idea behind the cobblestone project, wait one sec, let's go to sleep first. Also, it's a Thursday for me. Oh, it's a Monday for me, Mr. Zaz. You must live in a weird part of the world if it's not Monday there, because we're in my part of the world. It sure is great to know that you can go to ibxtoycat.store and get these high quality t-shirts that are worth stealing from public premises. But yeah, I think such a good sales pitch. I'm going along with that. Also, thank you very much for the tip. It is from Jake Liao. Can't stay because I have work, but that doesn't mean I can get out of my Toycat taxes. Thank you very much, Jake Liao. I agree. You know, no tax evasion today. That's for sure. No, I really do appreciate it though. Also, make a giant block for each block to store the blocks inside. I actually think I might have to do that, chat. Yeah, let's do some planning today. You know, I never plan anything in my life. I kind of just like go with things. Let's plan it out, internet. So, as you can see, I've got these blocks from something or other chilling on the ground there. They look kind of weird, but also they look maybe like they're intentional. I've got a big creeper hole over there I never patched up. Should we go patch it up? I think we should go patch it up. Let's do it. Or you can work on your nether tunnel, says Dasher. Yeah, that's I think the nether tunnel and the diamonds are the 2 like big projects that are hanging on top of me. It's terrible. Also, will you build an end base? No, a simple answer. So with that said, IBX plan it out, cat. You know, yeah, that's something we don't get to do very often. But I think it's important that we vaguely plan where we're headed. Maybe, just maybe. So cat, build a giant Minecraft chest and I'll tell everyone you have the biggest chest I've ever seen. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you, Audrey Bella, I feel like that doesn't work as well this way round, but I'll go with it anyway, okay? You know, heck yeah, I want people to think I have the big chest. Okay, now we're gonna go take my actual big chest, which is filled at this point with torch flower seeds. I have so many pitch plods, and we're gonna quickly just do a breeding run of the sniffers. I haven't done this in a while. It's something I do need to do. Oh god, it's such a mess in here. It's something I do need to do. Just breed some sniffers. Worst case, we get experience, right? Best case, we get a lot more than experience. They are very aged sniffers up here. This is such a terrible, terrible farm for actually getting anything done. You can't see the mobs you're feeding. They're so ridiculously sized. I do have to say, like, if you look at sniffers for the first time and you show them to someone from like 2020 even, right? People be like, that's a silly mod. That's not a real Minecraft animal. But yet here we are, right? The silly Minecraft mods are real animals. This new, I can't cover up my holes like that. The mobs spawn in places like that are annoying. Yeah, what I like to do, also, can I put my torch flower seeds on the ground? Will they be picked up by the minecart? That's the important question. I think so, right? I guess we'll take them ourselves, if not. It's possible our minecart stopped running, honestly. I just want to get out of here. This is so scary, internet. You can't see what's going on in here. There we go, that's the door. So, yeah, I bred a few sniffers, which means there'll be a few sniffer eggs in here, if we do things correctly. And, yeah, that is my reminder not to try that again. I do need to work out a place to store these concrete blocks, which we obviously have a few more of. So we're going to make a colored blocks chest, I think. Maybe a few colored blocks chest. We could eventually sort them by color. Yeah, that's a fun idea, right? Let's, I would like to make something eventually rainbow colored so we could have, like, all the different colored blocks. But for now, I just like the idea of being like, okay, let's have a place where this stuff goes. I kind of like the lichen pond. Yeah, it was a silly idea when I first made it, but it definitely has been growing on me. What's your motivation to keep doing YouTube, says Bosscar. I think everyone has their own motivation for doing things all of the time. But the... also, can I go this far? I can. This is as far as I can go. Let's make this the colorful wool. So we could have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 colors here. And then like 6 colors there. Or we could probably like cut the colors in half and go like red and pink in the same chest. Blue and light blue in the same chests. I think that's probably the way to do it, honestly. So we'll mine these blocks out. And we'll put our red... We'll go rainbow style. So red goes right here. We don't have... And then orange would go right next to it. I guess logically orange would be connected. I'm not sure how this works at all, internet. Motivation, no, okay. And then it's yellow, which I conveniently have. And then after yellow, it's green, which we don't have. And so the whole system falls apart. But just for now, we set up like a chest right here on top of these ones. And then we mine out the blocks ahead of them. And then we can have like a nice colorful area to store things. Of course, Toycat is woke. You can clearly see he's not sleeping. If I was asleep, I think you'd know about it, internet. But yeah, do you watch any sports, Mr. Toycat, says Rando Raid? Honestly, I got into F1 recently, and I kind of get the appeal of sport on that level, but it feels so wasteful when it, like, I don't know, like, I think any hobby is really wasteful when you dive into it enough. But some things feel like extra that way, where you're like, I'm making myself care about something so that I will spend time on something when I do not have enough time. Which is a weird, like, I don't know, solution to have solved, right? But it is the one that many people feel they get solved. I'll tell my kids they're a waste as a Cat Beanie. Honestly, you know, the number of things in life that are just there to waste your time, too darn high. I reckon we tell children nice and early on, you look like a big football fan. You know, I don't look very big. I weigh a very reasonable amount, just like 178 pounds, excuse you. I'm not big, you're big. I'm just kidding. I think there's a lot of people who, I think the fun thing about sports is theoretically that it can unite all sorts of people. In reality, like, people who like sports tend to look a certain way, like, it's a thing. I stopped caring about pro sports to spend more time on this channel. Yeah, my man, David Solimano. That's what I'm talking about. That is the only correct opinion to have. No, okay, so obsidian goes in here. It's really hard to sort this stuff sometimes. Should we go mine some obsidian? I think we should, right? I definitely think. What's the criteria for things that are worth your time, though, says E? That's the hard thing, right? Is ultimately, no matter how hard you try to be perfectly disciplined, you all have, like, these downtime breaks in what you're doing. Even if you, like, try the hardest you... Also, is there enough chest space in here? There is. Perfect. Even if you try the hardest you've ever tried to be committed to one thing and one thing only, like, we have this time where we wander off out into the woods, and so making sure that you spend that on things that are better than worse is a good idea. Like, some people deliberately get themselves into, like, I don't know, Sudoku or something like that. That's probably better on, you know, on the theory level than going and sitting and just turning off and going, that is worse for you. You need to do that sometimes. I actually, funnily enough, like, you know, I just picked an example that seems like it's so obvious. But even then, actually, so I'm going to put the sniffer eggs in my 1.17 chest, just to confuse future me as to what they're doing in there. They feel like a good fit, right? What if flags were 3D? Maybe Toycat should try to build that, says Cheeky Post. Fun fact, I cannot build flags in this world. I will get in trouble if I do. I don't know if I can even say why that is. But I have an agreement not to build flags in this world. Just as a little tidbit for you right there. So yeah, let's just build a chest, and then we can later sort it into more interesting ones. You know, it's always an important little lesson. So there we go. Chest is gathered. I bought myself a new Packer sweater, but it's $116, so I passed. I mean, yeah, that's the crazy thing about sports is how it's taken advantage of on these like crazy levels where it's like, that doesn't seem like my thing to be like, I love this thing so much, I'll pay all the money to show I support it. I feel like YouTube merch is like fairly reasonable most of the time. Sometimes people try to go for this angle of like, yeah, I'm charging you a bunch of money so you'll like it more, but it doesn't like fit my vibe personally. You know, if you look at all the shirts you find on ibxtoycat.store, like this today is a Monday one, wow, it costs basically the same price as a real t-shirt, except it has all the love and soul of a Toy Cat thing printed on there. It was because the world's on the marketplace, I believe, says Scooter. Yeah, that's the reason. I'm not meant to say that, but also I don't think anyone cares if I do say that. But also I'm still not meant to say it, you know? It's the whole thing about NDAs where like, are you meant to admit that there is an NDA that is the reason you can't say something? It depends on how you feel, I guess. Also, Jelly and Slugger shots are like 100 quid. The thing is, though, that there is a really valid business model in saying, I will charge you more for this, and you will like it more because you paid more. It's called a, in economics, it's called a Veblen good. If Ferrari started making a £20,000 car, not as many people would want the £20,000 car. It would devalue Ferrari's brand. They would make less money. No matter how many of them they sell, no matter what profit margin they do, people look at certain, you know, I don't know, like same with luxury watches, right? If a luxury watch brand came out and said, all our watches are going to cost 100 times less now, people would be like, oh, I can't believe I thought they were good at one point. And obviously there is actually a lot more to it. Like you have to convince people why something is worth dropping money on, usually at least. But it's still like another interesting pathy component, right? And another interesting component in the overall thing. So now let's take the deep slate that's chilling here. I'm never going to want it. We'll take the iron ore. We'll take the dirt. We'll take the 2 glass as well. Like just, you know, the dumb things chilling around here. A whole stack of, half stack of andesite, sure. I don't want to deal with the gravel right now, but I will take the polished andesite. And we'll take all of this out of here as well. Just doing our best to slowly bring the world back to equilibrium. If such a thing can even be done. Also, by the way, Jake, sorry, not Jake Lee out. This is a different
Wasn't expected to cover Veblen goods on this stream. Let's do Giffen goods next.
I actually don't know Giffen goods. I haven't heard of that one. Maybe once I Google it, I'll know immediately. Giffen goods. Giffen goods are a low-income, non-luxury product for which demand increases as the price increases and vice versa. A Giffen good has an upward sloping demand curve, which is... You know, I've never heard of this. What is an example of a Giffen good? I really can't think of one. Ordinary good, normal good. I can't... Okay. Giffen goods, examples. So, bread, wheat, and rice are examples. Oh, because as they get more expensive, I guess people want to buy more of them, maybe? Like, I don't know, toilet paper? Maybe. I can't think of the real reason for it, but... Also, my words are usually pretty big on inventory management, but I usually have at least one grab bag chest of miscellaneous crap. This is the problem with Minecraft's adding too many items. Every item makes sense by itself, although not every item makes sense by itself. We have a real tough inventory management situation on our hands. We still have the same 36 slots we used to have, and Minecraft is out here adding blocks like tough to the game. It's because they get squeezed out of buying better stuff. So the idea is, as other goods increase in the market, these goods get more important. This is a thing you see during every time there is like a squeeze, a cost of living crisis, inflation, whatever you want to call them. Whenever people feel like their budgets are squeezed, some goods go really bad out of fashion because you can't afford to be having I know it's a ridiculous thing that people buy only because it's expensive. Like, I know, like going to the tanning salon, for example. Like, you can't afford to tan if you can't afford to eat or heat or whatever. Whereas some goods get way more popular. So, for example, like budget restaurants go really hard during, like they get really good results because people still want to eat out and have that luxury feeling, but they can't afford to pay anymore. So the places that cost like $10 a dish, it's not good food, but it provides the rest of what they want. You can afford to be picky about, you need to have money to be picky about food, but you still need to meet up with people in a social setting, which is the weird thing about restaurants, that apparently the good they're actually selling you is not what you assume it is. It's actually, the actual good that a restaurant is selling you is a place to hang out and, talk with friends, apparently, which seems like insanity to me. I like food, and I just like getting food with people, but still, it's the same thing. Also, I don't want Giffen goods, I want Giffen bad, says Aubrey. Okay, Giffen bad would be, instead of a good that is providing utility, would be something that is providing anti-utility to you. So, how about this, right? If you, I'll provide you a Giffen bad right now. The more money you give me, the meaner I will be to you. And also, but actually no, not the meaner I'll be to you. I'll be the same amount of mean to you no matter how much money you give me. There we go. I've created a Giffen bad. It is not a good thing. It's not a thing you should want, but at the same time, it will only go in the one. Oh, so a child is a Giffen bad. Yeah, children are a great example of that, actually. As their price increases, for some reason, people still hold on to their children. But at some point, you've got to say, like, oh, I've just realized children, I don't know, it's paying, that if you just, even ignoring, like, there's a single person discount you don't get of children anymore, you pay twice as much when you go out to eat. It sounds terrible. None of that sounds good. I don't want it. And so, therefore, logically, I think what we have to say is Giffen bad. Also, let's now get the dirt and the glass put away, and then let's grab a shulker box from somewhere, because I want to go into the mine. I want to do it, chat. It's been too long since I've just gone mining in a little bit of an area, and so let's do it. We'll combine these two cobble deep slate chests together. So we'll throw all of this into there. Should be nice and easy. We'll have a nice, lovely cobble deep slate chest. Is there a good reason for it to be white? No, but I don't see color or something like that. Look how much cobbled deep slate I have here, chat. I've got an alarming problem. We have to come up with like a good reason or way to use it, or I'm gonna be just drowning in this stuff. I've gone mining so much. It's gonna be terrible. What is the value of a 7-year-old child? I think, okay, so the value of a newborn is about negative $250,000. Most people would say. Obviously, you might get some non-monetary value out of a child. In fact, most people must to be making such a poor decision. Even though, clearly there is, the actual monetary value is very, very, very low. So far below zero, because it's just a machine that creates costs. And in the Western world, we've removed most of the benefits of having a child. Like, well, you pay $250,000 on the child for the first 20 years, but then over the next 20 years, you make it feel bad and you make it give like a certain amount of money back. Like you garnish the wages off it. You get a 5% cut. Isn't it crazy that people don't blink twice at the government asking them, like, hey, could we just have a nice, just 2/5 of that income? That's okay, just 2/5. But on the other hand, your parent asks you for 2/10 or 2/20 or 2% even. If your parent asked you for 2%, you would call the police for I don't know I don't know what the crime would be, but I'd call the police anyway. Damn it. I'd call the police just because I was bored. But you get the point. The value of children is an odd subject. Yeah, I think the actual interesting thing that children prove is that people don't make perfectly rational economic decisions for every facet of their life, because otherwise no one would ever have children and we wouldn't exist as a species, right? Also, Harrison asks, what do people think of the new member badges? Yeah, let him know. Harrison designed some great new badges, and we haven't heard enough feedback, and so we'd like to hear some more. It's something that we'd vaguely mentioned for a while, and so it was nice to finally make it happen, Also, yeah, I'm gonna make this entrance a little bit more grand. I don't get to use it very often, but I'm gonna be mining a lot more diamonds, so it's a good idea to just have this thing set up correctly, right? And also, parents bring you into this world, and there's the one most important part of your life. New badges are excellent, says David Solomano. Thank you. I predict Toycat has 5 kids, all girls. I don't... See, I've considered this one, right? Also, Gerald K, build idea to use up deep slate would be build a deep dark city in the nether. I do actually really like that one. You know what? Okay, you know what, chat? We got any better ideas, or are we going to start doing that? Should we just start doing it right now? Who's going to stop me? That's the more important question. Who wants to stop me, and who's going to be able to? Because I imagine the answer to both those questions is NA. And so, yeah, I think, also, Enderstar, I love the new member badges. I'm glad you do. How hard is it to make and find a new in your world when new updates come out? It can be a bit of a nightmare, Lego Show TV, but, like, it's always eventually doable. It's never actually impossible. Okay, so we got a lovely 2-wide staircase. It's a small touch for a mine stairs, but, you know, you gotta do it at some point. And now we're gonna make this area nice and big. It's currently a little bit, you know, it's missing some touches. And so we're gonna make it so big that it's very clear exactly where we are when we're here. We should never be lost. It'd be great. Toycat, do you have any opinions on the 1.21 leaks? I'd like to talk about it all in one place. I've been getting sent leaks left and right, and it sounds real crazy. But I think the healthiest mindset to have on anything is not assume things are true unless someone says they are a lie, but assume things are false unless someone assumes they're true. The scientific method is the best approach to have on as many things as you can, because, I mean, it's literally called the scientific method. That sure is a name for something, right? But, you know, even if you're not the biggest science lover in the world, and, you know, there are people out there who I can respect that are like, yeah, science is, you know, like an answer to a lot of the questions, but what about these other things? And it's confusing to me, but I also kind of get it, right? So I think if you assume things are false until you learn they're true, don't get your expectations built up for all sorts of random things. People are really good at just, like, lying to you because it makes their problems go away. Here's a crazy example of this to me. Like, I'll try not to use too personal example, but you ever had someone in your life that, like, as soon as when you need something from them, they're like, oh, I didn't get the message, so terrible. But if they need something from you, they can, like, keep harassing and pestering until they get something. An example I have of this is always, like, tradespeople. The moment you finish paying a tradesperson, you never hear from that person ever again, because why would you? The whole model of someone working on your house or doing something like that is like, yes, in exchange for me doing the services first, I must make sure you are happy, because only happy people decide to pay in the end. But as soon as you, like, pay someone, they're like, all gone, can't be dealing with that anymore. Like, I had a guy who was like, yeah, my #1 goal is making sure you as the customer are happy. And then he sent me, like, a real guilt trip message being like, oh man, I can't pay my people without the money. I'm coming over next week though to finish it. So just pay it now. It'll be all good so I can pay my people. I was like, oh man. So feel bad about it. And it is 99% done. I hadn't heard from him for a month. It took, like, someone else going at him and being like, yeah, we won't give you any more work unless you finish this. Where he's like, oh, damn, I have to actually do the work that I was paid for now. And I really feel that as an individual. Like, even though I don't, you know, I think it's important to note that, like, this is where the thing comes from. People might take it to that level and say, oh, yeah, there are just bad people out there out to get you. But that's why I think it's always important to look at, like, no, actually, think about the incentive system. The exceptions in a small town, robbers get no businesses, bad reputation. But actually, it's even more complicated than that, because you can have a really good reputation by being good with words and saying the right things in the right times. Like, I don't know, like, if you're not going to pay someone, again, I've had this literally a family even, but, like, if you're not going to pay someone, don't say, I'm not going to pay. That makes them angry, that makes them escalate, and it makes, like, all sorts of problems happen. Say, I'm going to pay real soon, I'm waiting on this thing. You come up with, like, an emotional guilt trip in return. Like, deflecting really, really well as to, like, oh yeah, I can pay you back for that money you lent me as soon as my nan's funeral's over. Like, I'm just really struggling with that right now. And then you have to be like, oh God, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. And then they're like, oh, it's all good. And then in a week when it's passed, it's like, oh yeah, well, here's this other terrible thing that's happened. And, like, people are really, really good at making up reasons why, like, oh yeah, you're in the wrong for trying to get something you want from them. But if they want something from you, they're in the right. You owe it to them. It's a very, very fascinating little tidbit of... Also, this area's getting nicer, I think, right? Do you like it, Internet? One day, this will go as far as the Bedrock world can see. But for now, It's just a nice little start. Picking up a lot of chiseled black slate, not chiseled black slate, chiseled deep slate, cobbled deep slate, so we can turn it into fun things later. I guess we'll take some tough and we'll just build something. Yeah, I think I will take whatever blocks we have the most of in this world, and we'll just build some insane stuff there. But yeah, I think that's why the scientific method is important. It's like, if you just get emotional and say, oh, this guy is bad and he tried to screw me, then it's like, that's not actually useful. Knowing that someone is bad and not doing business with them is a good lesson to learn, sure. But the better lesson to learn would be, why did this happen and how do you stop it happening again? And the answer for that one is much trickier, but that's why it's more important to learn. Like, okay, so is it that people are bad? I don't think people are generally that bad. And it's weird that people seem like they're really nice people when they still want things from you. So why is that? Well, okay, in the system of society we have, in the same way I said earlier, that you never quite know what is worth spending your time on. Like, why do I deem that sports is a bad use of my time, while Minecraft is a great use of my time? It's because it's just because of, like, well, I enjoy Minecraft, and also, like, it's, for the last few years, it's been a real good way also to boost on my, it's like kind of like a career thing. It's like, it's basically doing professional research for me to play Minecraft, whereas sports can't be saying the same. And so, trying to actually dig a little bit deeper, if you forgive the pun, is to say, okay, we all focus our time in different places, and sometimes when I really don't want to do something, I'll be like, oh yeah, I literally have to do this thing because I have, either some contract or, there's some like big penalty for me not doing that thing. And, that doesn't always actually work on me, but like, it's a thing that works on a lot of people. Like, oh, there is some very big cost to this thing not happening. We'll make sure that it does. We are deep in the mine, aren't we? We are very deep in the mine right now. And so when you realize that you're more motivated to do things that you have a financial incentive for, you realize that, yeah, obviously the moment the financial incentive goes away, you'd be less interested. If your employer said, yeah, by the way, I'm going to just be honest with you right here, I don't have any money to pay you, I'm going to go bankrupt next week and you're not going to get your payment, but I would still like you to work as hard as you can this week. You go, wait, no, I'm going to start looking for new jobs, please, actually. This sounds terrible. And so in the same way, you've got to kind of just like, as you work out that when everything in life is actually way more about incentives than it is about good and bad people. Like, some people have incentive to not, hey, diamonds, I need these. Some people have incentive to not be the best people that they can be, and other people have incentives to be the best persons they can be. And sometimes you mistake it for just the genuineness of it, which is when it's working really well. If I convince you right now that I have absolutely no moneyed reason to be here, I just happen to be playing Minecraft and a bunch of people happen to show up, you'll think, wow, this guy Toycat really enjoys his Minecraft. But if I then told you that, like, I had this really fun series planned because I figured people might enjoy them as live VODs, and when people like to watch live VODs, it's a great way for people to get like a lot of watch time from one video, but also it's a way that encourages people to watch more live streams in the future, and some number of people who watch live streams tip, which is an important income stream, and so hopefully if I play my cards right, I could make some money in the long run by enjoying doing what I'm doing. But if you imagine it all that way, it feels way more convoluted and way less passionate and genuine than if I say like, oh yeah, I really enjoy Minecraft, want to survive in the mushroom biome, which is also true, but it's true, every fact is like true with a little bit of context, right? Which is, even take like we don't like politicians anymore, but like in general as a society, but take the leader of your country, right? The guy who has the buttons or whatever else, that guy probably does a lot of things on a day-to-day basis that are objectively very good, like are making the world better. You might argue he's making the world worse in a lot of ways too, but he has to be the one who makes sure good things happen as well as maybe the bad things he's doing. The ideal is that you set it up so that the incentives are all good. Only for fun, no money at all, but at least you don't hate it, or do you? I think you can tell when someone doesn't like something. And also, I think when you're on YouTube, the incentive to do things you hate really isn't there because you can probably find something you like that people will enjoy from you, and you'd probably be better off doing that instead. It's my crazy take right here, is that people might enjoy you doing things you actually enjoy, and so maybe you should do that instead. I think the closest exception I ever get is whenever you see I feel like covering like unverified news is like always a tricky one for me, because I'm like, oh no, there's gonna be a thing in this, and like I'm gonna try to clarify this a bunch of times, but I know that someone's gonna miss it and go, wow, did you hear? Toycat just confirmed that there's this new thing in 1.21. Also, yeah, this is a nice low area. I feel like the ceiling could be higher, but I think 4 is plenty high for now. Let's keep making it a little bit wider, piece by piece. I find it hard to believe the man in charge of my country has done anything good in his entire life. And you know, I bet he's pet a dog at least once. I bet he has. It's ideal to do something you enjoy for money. Some people don't get to do that. The thing, okay, so the next layer to this part, right, is everyone does something that they enjoy for money somewhere along the way. It's just how many things do you not enjoy that you do for money mixed in there. I would say the worst example is a job you 100% hate. And so that might be something like people who clean up after crime scenes when there's like blood and feces and whatever, you know, whenever that's kind of messed up, or like maybe you could say like a hotel cleaner is another good example of someone who's like, yeah, you clean up after people have a fun time and do gross things expecting you to do it. It's awful. But even then, you have like a level of enjoyment that like you're doing something that is, you know, like a... There's always a slight enjoyment, it might not be the right word, but you have an enjoyment of like getting stuff done, finishing your task. There's something in your brain that activates that's good. It's just nowhere near as good as the part that activates when you're watching your favorite sports team or playing your favorite video game. The President of Ireland has a dog that he brings with him everywhere. I feel like he's copying the now late Queen with that. But, you know, I totally can't fault him for it. Works very well for her. Or did. I guess she's dead now. Surprisingly, people who clean crime scenes usually love their jobs for the most part. Right, I think almost every job has ways you can hate them and ways you can love them. And so the man in charge of the US is always sleeping. You know, is he always sleeping? I find that hard to believe. I feel like you get 1 3-hour nap in after, you know, waking up, and you're like, oh, I guess I have to be awake now. I want to sleep away all my problems, but I can't, even if you're president. It was hard to feel good about working at McDonald's, knowing how bad the food is for people. See, but that's going the, my argument would be every job has something you're doing that's good for someone, with very few exceptions, like maybe salespeople. And even then, salespeople convince themselves they're selling things people need. I've seen timeshare people be like, yeah, we are saving lives, selling people vacations. And so... also, Boxy Blue Luck, when's the next caveman stream?
When's the next caveman stream? Ooga booga me need more cave ooga.
I want...
Thank you for always being entertaining and caring for
Should we check if I deleted my
roasting
cave?
us from time to time. Heart.
First of all, thank you, Boxy Blue Luck. I really appreciate the tip. I think Caveman would have been a good thing to switch to today. I don't have that plan, but I think Caveman is something we'll be doing again somewhat shortly. But yeah, the answer as to thank you for entertaining and caring about your viewers. I think the most important way you can care about someone is often telling them the truth. That's where my whole point on this is coming from. It's like, and so the important truth is to say that every job has this element that people enjoy. And sometimes that element is something as simple like, yeah, when you work at McDonald's, for example, you can genuinely feel good in my mind. I would feel not terrible about it being like, all these people need a meal and they get something they crave when they're done. It's not good for them, but they're going to do lots of terrible things on the way home too. Take my Toycat tax, please, says Robert King the Kingfish. Aha! My strategy has worked. I have pretended that I am just here as a customer service person, but I am actually here to take your hard-earned money and blow it on lobster rolls. I love working at McDonald's as a cat. See, that's an interesting contrast. Like, it's, lots of things have, like, what you take from it and etc. But then every dream job, this is, like, the most, this is a conversation you're not meant to have, but every dream job has lots of things you don't want to do mixed in there with it. So, I think the modern day dream job is YouTube, and I really do love YouTube. I don't think I could pick a better job if I was going to. Do you hear the foxes, by the way, internet? Yeah, I really enjoy the I really enjoy the fun thing that comes with like YouTube and being able to like share things I'm passionate about and find other people who care about those same things. Like when I talk about like the weird when I talk about weird potions and people enjoy it. When I talk about I've got a whole section in an upcoming Ultimate Guide on Strongholds that I just think is so dumb and goofy, and I just think like I hope people are going to enjoy it though. Talking about can you survive exclusively in a stronghold. Yeah, I think I hated fast food. Love serving. Getting paid tips every day is awesome. I'm literally like Toycat, except I hate every other aspect of my job. I think the important thing I'm trying to get at with all of this is to say that every great job then has bits you don't want to have to do. So, as an example, like you have to deal with I don't know, like ad sales to run a online business or something like that, which means dealing with a bunch of people and like having like back and forth emails where your timeliness is important. I had a sponsorship offer last year that I just missed out on because I missed an email, and it was a really cool one. Like it was a company I really wanted to work with, and I just missed the email and assumed they stopped responding to me, but it was me who stopped responding to them. But as a better example, I don't know. I'm not here to complain about what I do. I think my point is to say I have a dream job, not just for lots of people, but for me, it is literally a dream job. But even then, sometimes it's like, okay, I have to make sure what I'm doing is like on algorithm. So like I have to make sure that if something is trending, I have something to say about it. I missed out on a huge number of views and therefore money, subscribers, security in my job, because I didn't talk about the deferred lighting when it came to the beta. I don't have a technical background in understanding what deferred rendering means. I try to understand it more generally, but I can't find non-Minecraft explanations of it. And so I decided not to talk about it until I could learn more, by which time it had been like too long had passed, etc. And so I missed out on one of the hottest topics that would have been... and so as a result, the channel takes a huge nosedive. And it's like, oh yeah, if there was an update that came out tomorrow, I would have to be talking about it, even if I didn't care about that update. And like thankfully things like updates I really care about. But what about when they release a beta and there's nothing in the beta? I had to stop for my own like mental health for a few years, covering dumb betas that don't have anything in them anyway. And I hoped it made better videos, but ultimately would have been a lot more money and my job would have been more secure if I'd have covered them anyway. The same is true about making like certain decisions regarding, my favorite Let's Play format, and some people really like this too, are the Let's Plays where we go, a lot of people really like the Let's Plays where it's just, here is 30 minutes of raw Toycat, doing a project, hopefully finishing it by the end. And I really like the format, and some people say they really like it too, but it gets destroyed on the algorithm. So I have to be like, okay, sorry I did that, YouTube, my bad. Didn't mean to upload a video, and again, what it means is not uploading a popular video doesn't just mean you don't get the popularity. It means literally people who don't see that video lower your overall click-through rate because they click a different video instead of yours, and then they don't get served your next video because your audience doesn't belong to you. It's not like I have a bunch of people who have to watch me. I have people who I'm hopefully trying to serve every single day, and sometimes I make the wrong decisions about how, right? That's hard. This isn't a complaint to say, again, I really want to be clear that like, this is to say I have a great job, I love it. But even that, every job has a thing you don't want to have to do. So what's another dream job? If you really like, if you really love fruit, you might think, I'm going to work at a smoothie stand. All you do is you stand around fruit all day. Love fruit. But then there's a customer who comes in and they're like, well, I bought a smoothie last week and I didn't like it. I'd like another smoothie for free, please. And then you go, we don't actually offer a service like that. We do refunds if you return the smoothie within, like 20 minutes of buying it. But you can't just say you didn't enjoy one and get a free one. I would like to speak to your manager. How dare you disrespect me like this? I have had a hard week and I deserve a smoothie. Like any customer service role has that. What's another dream job? Like you might really enjoy... what's a better dream job? Like, you might just enjoy the idea of making music. Who doesn't like music? It's relaxing, or something like that. But being a musician isn't just, I'm going to sit around when I feel like it and make music. It's, how do I make music that appeals to current trends, gets played in the right places? So some musicians you have to worry about, I don't know the different genres, but there's club music, right? Which has to be played in certain clubs, meaning you have to appeal to a certain subsect of music producers and the general audience who are going to be, has to be good enough that people want to get off their tits and listen to it. Like, it's a real hard thing. By the way, Anonymous, my first Toycat tax, now I can live my life without the impending doom of dying in a house fire. Thank you so much, Anonymous. Appreciate it a lot. Game tester is a dream job. There's another great example. So game tester as an idea is I will just play people's games and tell them what's wrong, and make them make a better game. I'll shape the game with my feedback. What game testing is in real life is you have to play a game, the developers tell you exactly how to play it. They'll be like, load up this level and do this over and over and over again. And so it's mind-numbingly dull. You go, okay, imagine a playtesting version of this world would be go up the staircase and then come down the staircase and place a block. And so you do it, and you do it once, and you're like, great. And then they're like, go up the staircase, come down the staircase, and place a block. And you've just got to basically do just tasks that are so time-consuming and dull that developers can't spend their time doing it. And it's terrible. A lot of people get their foot in the door of QA, but it's not a dream job by any means. And my own minor reason to say this is every job has parts that you have to do because we're all basically trying to, like at the very basis of economics, is trying to do things for people in such a way that they want to give us things in return. I saw a really interesting argument today because a lot of people really don't like the very system of like capitalism, right? Because in theory, in the theory of these people, and so kind of validly to some extent, when a business is set up, the company owner is basically telling people to do things like you tell a fruit picker to pick some fruit, or like you tell a doctor to go cure a patient. You pay that doctor a certain amount of money, and you guarantee that the amount you pay him is less than the amount that you guarantee him, and then you then you try to make sure that you get paid more from the customer than he makes, so you just skim money from the top. Hey, Renegade Killer Bee, thank you so much. I appreciate the tip. Hope you're doing wonderfully. Yeah, you might assume that sorry, I lost my point. Yeah, you might think that like, yeah, so that's what capitalism as a whole is. But really, if you think about it, non-profits are that on steroids. They take advantage of your ability to do something that you love for no money, and then the CEO of those companies rakes in so much. Whereas at least under capitalism, you have the, under normal, businesses, you have the ability to tell your employer, a for-profit company, I want more money or I won't do my job for you, and they have to decide, are you going to leave or not? At a non-profit, they just guilt you.
Have the complexion, skill, and job security to tell privileged individuals.
You're a braver person than most, by the way. Also, I had my dream job managing a vegan cafe. One day a woman told me she came in the week prior and was given cow milk and had an allergic reaction, and the manager approved a free drink for her. Lol, nope. See, but that's the exact situation I mentioned, funny enough. Like, what do you do about entitled people who are lying to you? Like, I don't like being lied to. Someone lying to me to take advantage of me, and it's my job to say, oh, yeah, that's really bad. And, like, having to emphasize with them, terrible. On this job, if you want to lie to me, internet, if you want to do, if you want, I can ignore you all I like. It's great. Capitalism, communism work if there weren't people who were power hungry. It's funny that you say power hungry. But yeah, the basic idea of like working for an enterprise is rough. But it is all about, at some point, you have to deliver value for people and people have to deliver value for you. And the exchange always is never going to feel fair. Because there are things, the things that you do nicely for people without money, people will often kind of take advantage of. And the things that you do that you expect money for are often some of the hardest things that we all do. Like, I don't know, a great example of this would be, also, Jar Jar Fail, have you gotten a new CPU yet? If not, this goes towards you getting a new one, or just pizza, must have pineapple on it. A pineapple-topped pizza. What crime are you trying to get me involved with here, Jar Jar Fail? Oh, it hasn't showed up yet. Oh, I think it's going to do text-to-speech because it's $10. Thank you.
Have you gotten a new CPU yet? If not, this goes to you getting a new one. Or just pizza. Must have pineapple
here's
on
my...
it.
So my new PC, I got a PC, I reset my entire PC from scratch. but it started crashing just less than before. And so I've now guaranteed it's definitely a driver issue I have. I am still going to get a new CPU. I think, to tell you, I think, so I mentioned earlier, like, there are some goods that do better during hard times. Discount supermarkets are a great example. I think this is, like, my first time in a while. Like, during my rise for YouTube, I basically tried my very, very best to always, like, you know, like, live under the assumption that, like, yeah, this is, who knows when this is going. So, like, this is my first time, like, really feeling like economic times, or whatever you want to describe it as. Yeah, the reason I'm mentioning that is just so I can say, like, yeah, I want to buy a PC, but I feel like it's genuinely a reckless decision. And that's one of the scary things about being, like, a business owner is, like, you can make risks in your business that can, like, jeopardize your, like, personal situation. And then you know, the way you could balance that, you know, in my I live a dream job where I could probably balance that by saying, okay, please can we get enough people to, you know, if we do a mega tip drive throughout the month of September, maybe we can raise £2,000, get a brand new mega CPU, you know, we could do that or something. But even then it's like, oh no, but I don't want to do that. That's like e-beggy. What's the right way to raise that? And so you know, thankfully we did the mega stream and that kept things going. But yeah, I've got to just at some point, like, bite the bullet, do the thing, and that's the plan. In case you're curious, as of a life update on that. Yeah, this is a bad time to upgrade a system. I think, okay, I'm kind of excited, like, in the next, like, 6 months or so, once this is my plan for anything in life. When other people zig, you've got to zag. So, again, even though I mentioned earlier, like, okay, so deferred rendering was a huge thing. That's an example of, like, there is a brand new thing lots of people care about, the few people are excited for. But the reverse example might be Starfield. Is that the new game? I don't think Starfield is going to be a big opportunity. Like, a lot of people, when Minecraft Legends first came out, every Minecraft YouTuber thought to themselves, I'm going to make a big video on this game. Because every time Minecraft spun off before, there was a lot, I seriously mean a lot of money. A lot of views, a lot of fame, a lot of success. I remember there was a Minecraft streamer who never played the console edition except once when it first came out, and their video had like 10 million views. So if you compare the views of at the time, there were like maybe a dozen Minecraft console YouTubers, maybe a couple dozen if you include the smaller ones. Out of them, maybe like 5 of us had more views on our entire channel than this one streamer had because he streamed the game for, I think it was like 3 hours straight on the day that it came out. He picked the right time and the right place, and it mattered so much more than anything else. And so a lot of people think to themselves, what's the right time and the right place? And they get something wrong. So my plan is always like zig when people zag. The last 2 years has been the worst time. The last 2 years has been the worst time to buy travel. I haven't, you know, I used to love traveling as my dream. It's like, it's the biggest goal and benefit of being of having a job where you get to do, like, where you get to pick your own hours. To me is like, I can plan my life around traveling Tuesday to Thursday, like, you know, traveling the off-peak hours no one else wants to go on flights during. And so yeah, for the last few years it's been near impossible. Flight prices have been crazy because we had this big bulge of everyone wanting to fly at the same time and there not being any more planes to do it with, you know, like increased supply, increased demand, no increased supply, equals it is very hard to get the thing that you might want. Like, it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone if nothing else. Travel is not fun these days. Yeah, so here's the thing. You had to pay about double as much, maybe 3 times as much in some cases, to travel on planes that were more packed. And then also, like, everyone was really anxious. Like, everyone forgot how to behave in public because of the pandemic for a little bit. So, like, you're just surrounded by, like, weirdos. And you're paying a lot of money to be surrounded by weirdos. Not my dream. Not my dream at all. No offense, strangers at the airport who've decided to travel for the first time in the last few years. But it's rough, right? And so my whole plan has been, okay, every time I want to fly somewhere, rather than paying 2 to 3 times the price, just put money aside and tell yourself, when prices go down, travel double as much then. Because think about it, for every flight you don't buy now, if prices go down to their pre-normal level, which is a big if, by the way, it's totally a gamble, but if prices were to go down, then all of a sudden you'd be left with, if prices went down, maybe you'd be left with an opportunity to travel twice as much on the same money. And so that's the basic idea. There's a lot of things like that, though, where, like, building work got really common during the pandemic, so I'm trying to hold off on, like, my biggest expense. I need to... If you don't know, if you haven't seen behind me, I'll show you behind the curtain. Can you see behind the curtain? There are foxes back there. So my roof looks like that, and it means that I have a giant room here that I can only move around in a square like this, because it's... whatever. It's a weirdly shaped room. And my whole goal when moving in was, like, get that fixed. But as soon as people would literally not come around for a while. So like, we have too much work. We're just gonna give you joke quotes to make you go away. Like, there was no way to get it done. So my plan is like, okay, that is another thing. Anything like that, the plan is, the life plan should always be, do what other people aren't doing, because there's a lot of money to be saved in it. If you have to do what other people are doing, it sucks, I get it, don't worry. There's a lot of people who do feel that way. But my whole plan is something like that. Is it a good plan? It's kind of rolling the dice, right? Because, you know, if you think about it, any money you didn't spend 2 years ago that you try to spend now is just worth 15 to 20% less. You just took a hard 15% loss on that money. Explore Wales, Cornwall, and Scotland road trip. Yeah, so my plan is basically explore... Okay, so this is dumb. My version of, like, domestic is, like, near in Europe. So... you can fly, you know, you can be in Ireland in like 45 minutes. I can be in, you know, like a fair few European countries in less than an hour. And the flights are always going to be, even when they're inflated, like 20, 30 pounds. That's actually what I've got to do tomorrow. It's 11 p.m. It's very late. I love the new Skyrail tower. You know what, chat? I want to actually know, do you... Okay, give me your thoughts on this, chat. I think it's an improvement, personally. I think it looks a lot like Tower Bridge. What do you reckon, Internet? I think that just the small touches did make a big difference. I think I could probably make more touches to it. But, yeah, we'll get at least one Starfield stream, right, says Dasher. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Next week, let's do precisely that. Also, I've got to go take the little ones out to see everyone next stream. Bye-bye, Toy Chat. I feel more British looking at it. It looks like Big Ben. So here's the deal, chat. I want to build something in my Let's Play Wild. I think I've got to do... So if you watch my video, I think there's an update coming out probably the Tuesday after next, which means I have to do a video next Monday explaining the things to do now before the update. I don't think that's going to matter so much because of village trading, but like, you know, that's usually my go-to. I want to make sure I cover it if there is something big. So that means next Let's Play, I've got to, you know, like kind of get like 2 Let's Plays worth of Let's Play mixed in there. And so what I was thinking of doing is right here, there's just a perfect space for something, right, chat? Do you see what I'm saying? There's a perfect space. Could make a giant lectern or something. But I also think it's a good idea to like take all of this cobbled deep slate that's building up and work out what to do with it. So, yeah. Also, Toki doesn't seem to sleep much before traveling, though 45 minutes isn't long enough for a nap. There's a weird thing. I've just learned, one of the weird lessons one of the things that you learn is yourself. And there are lots of ways that you should be trying to better yourself. But if after a long enough time trying to better yourself, you haven't gotten better, it's important not to chastise yourself and say, okay, if this is how I am, let's work around that then. And so my example of this is I cannot sleep before a flight correctly. If I try to sleep early, I sit there all stressed. If I try to sleep late, I'm like, I wake up every 2 hours real broken. I think I have, what's the personality called? Like night owl or whatever. I think a lot of people have this. I'm sure if you're watching this, there's a 1 in 3 chance that you really struggle doing things in the morning, but at night you have all this energy to do great big things. And you think to yourself like, wow, there's so much I could do right now. Tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do it. And then you wake up and you're like, I just want to not be alive right now. It sounds like a drinking thing, right? Like, but it's like having a hangover, except you get it all the time, regardless of whether you have anything or not. Like, I think that there are people who get energized at different points in the day. There are people who are morning people. I think I have to imagine most morning people force themselves to be that way. It's the best time to strike because it's then the thing, like I said, like zigging when people zag. You're doing the opposite of what people are doing. It's clever in that way. But yeah, also we are picking up a lot of ore here. So what blocks do I have too much of? I have a whole chest of tuff. Okay, I've got too much gravel and I've got too much cobbled deep slate. I've got to work out a way to combine those things together. Man, yeah, What do we do, internet? With gravel and deep slate. Should we take it to the nether? I don't think that's actually a terrible idea, right? Yeah, so let's put away my diamonds. I don't, these are my last diamonds. Let's put them in there. Let's put away my deep slate. I believe this is a deep slate chest. And let's go, where did I get magma from, by the way? Where the heck did I get magma from? Have I just had magma on me for a while, or is there a reason for this? So we'll put the magma away. Generally, everything for me is just based on current habits. I'm legit a morning person, left to my own devices. I used to be a morning person. I like mornings and nights, but not middays. I'm crepuscular. You should set up your life so you do your life. Okay, if I was you, I don't know how easy this is to do. I would set up my life so that, like, all my important garbage stuff that you don't need to pay attention to is in the afternoon. Like, try and get doctor's appointments done, and, like, vague life admin, like doing the cleaning or whatever dumb tasks that come up. And then, like, use the morning for work or the evening for work and the morning for, like, your fun stuff. Or maybe you could, maybe you want to go the opposite way, get the productive stuff done best. Okay, so chat, what am I gonna do? I've got to do, I'm gonna do something here, right? All-nighter stream, joking, you probably need to pack. Whenever I go away for 24 hours, I consider, if I have my passport when I leave the house, and maybe a battery bank, I think that's all you need. I think clothes are a nice optional. Like, worst case, you spend £3 at a Primark. Or worst case, you wash your clothes in the sink or something. So clothes are a nice option to have, but they're not required. Also, we gotta like focus on this. Okay, so I've got gravel. Chat, I've got gravel. I've got cobbled deep slate. So I'm gonna combine the two together. What do you reckon about this? Yeah, I don't know if the blocks go well together. I kind of see it, but I'm not in love with it. What if we tried something a bit more quirky? So I was just thinking about. So I have random mushroom blocks over there, right? Are those mushroom blocks? I think they're mushroom blocks. So what if I take a part of my nether, because I've got lots of just parts that exist, right? And what do we do, like, you know, just as an idea? What if we, like, take this? I'm gonna, like, make it over here so if it sucks, it just can exist forever. What if we, like, make, like, the mushrooms we were trying to do? And then we put polished deep slate on the top. Oh, no, okay, that's fine. We put polished deep slate on top, like it's a giant mushroom. We could kind of make like a mycelium vibe for a biome. We could make the gravel be like the mycelium on the ground, and then use these as the rest of the blocks. Or we could use like we could use regular cobbled deep slate for the ground, and then use these for the trees. The world needs paths. Does the world need paths? I know my way around it perfect, therefore it is already great. No, I have been saying for a while the world needs more paths. How suspicious is my giant mushroom, internet? Do you like my giant mushroom? I like my giant mushroom. It kind of works, right? Right? Oh. Deep slate and concrete. Nice tree. Yeah, I think you need to sleep on it, says Banana Diamonds. Indeed. What do you reckon, internet? Do you think it would look better if I used the other type of mushroom? So I'll make deep slate bricks for that one, just to make sure it's differentiated in enough way. But let's stack up over here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we just do the same, but different. So now we place blocks in all of these corners. We place one under here, and then we do the same around here. I think it's 3 by 3 for these mushrooms. Could be entirely wrong about that. 3 by 3 over here too. Which means then we do the same on this side. Okay, so this is a very silly idea. I admit this could go entirely wrong. But I feel like I'm onto something here, chat. I feel like I'm onto something magical. So, yeah, just like that. What do you reckon about my mushroom? They kind of work, right? They it's a monochromatic mushrooms. I kind of like it. I don't know if I want to make a whole mushroom biome out here in the Nether necessarily. I do like it though. I do like it. One more layer on the red one. Oh yeah, you're right. It is one more layer. We don't have any more deep slate. I mean, we have cobbled deep slate. So now just to imagine, what would the ground look like if it was cobbled deep slate instead of this? This is what the ground would look like. Yeah, it kind of, do you see like this looks like a Mario Underground level? I like that a lot. We could definitely lean into that, right? You know, I'm liking this a lot. That would look so good. We can make like a little miniature biome out of these. I think it'd be fun. I think build some biomes that I think Minecraft needs. So yeah, I need to come up with a use for all of this gravel and all of this deep slate. Maybe that's what I'll do. Anyway, the brick one isn't centered. Is the brick one not centered? It's centered. Ah, you crazy Rose Pentacle. It's okay. Don't get the stream copyright struck by humming. I'm still in a copyright dispute with the goddamn Toto Africa people because I played my parody of that song for 3 minutes in a 5.5-hour live stream. They're like, so yeah, we get all of this money now, right? And instead of like doing the honorable thing and responding, they're gonna let the copyright claim expire, which means for 30 days, I don't know whether I get the money. It's so ridiculous. It's such a silly situation to be involved with. Replace gravel with tough enderman will grief your shrooms. Oh yeah, that might be smart, honestly. I do have too much gravel, but maybe in a bad way, in a good way. Also, I think we should maybe get a bunch of sand and then we can make, we could take advantage of that. But for now, look at all the flint I've got. I'm gonna have to make so many fletching tables. It's gonna be ridiculous. It must be a good cover if they're claiming it. That's the thing though, right? That's the thing. Go to bed. You know, instead of going to bed, I'm gonna work on my Minecraft parody. I'm gonna work on the Minecraft parody for the next biome. I'm gonna just like look at some songs that I can play and actually use on YouTube. I was thinking Eye of the Tiger recently, because I was like, instead of Eye of the Tiger, it could be Eye of the Tiger. You know, the biome with the trees and whatnot. So I have to like check like, can you have a note block song copy of Eye of the Tiger? But yeah, we're gonna find songs we can use. I don't know what ones we'd have to use, like, but there's like worst case you just pick an old enough song, right? So public domain popular songs. There's definitely gonna be some crazy examples. Meet Me in St. Louis, Louis. What sort of a terrible song is that? Okay, so we're gonna find out if this is in public domain by just playing it right now. Wait, no, I've made this mistake before. Happy Birthday is public. Oh, it's royalty free. House of the Rising Sun. Wait, House of the Rising Sun? House of the Rising Sun. I feel like it's a traditional folk song. Oh, okay, so we can find like a folk song. It's gotta be a well-known song though, otherwise it doesn't have the same vibe. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find, like a well-known song that is also not gonna get me copyright struck. That also has lyrics because we need to go onto it. Never Gonna Give You Up, I think, is not copyrighted. It definitely is. Never Gonna Vote For You. You're just a damn tough golem. You can come back year after year, but I'll keep deserting you. Sky of the Tiger. Sounds like the British Empire. Yankee Doodle. Yeah, I need to find, like, all the songs that I know that are famous and royalty-free don't have lyrics, like 1812 Overture or, you know, like, there's all these famous songs. I reckon we can add lyrics to one of the Minecraft minigame tracks. Okay, chat, tell me if you like that idea. I was thinking that too, Harrison, and then I was like, how could you do that? Let's do it right now. Okay, so Minecraft minigame music. How do we add music to any of these? Okay, so, oh god, all the music here. Okay, how's this sounding, internet? There's no music here, is there? We'd add music. Wait, we could probably take like Pig Step or something, right? Yeah, wait. You could totally rap over this, right? Like, do. You just gotta find a beat. I don't know how beat works at all, but you just gotta like, when it drops, you start rapping or something, right? Do. You could probably fit some. No, it's too instrumental, I guess. You need not too foreground. I don't know how people make music ever. I guess we can go with like other side, right? Yeah, making it from scratch is way harder. I don't think I have the skills to make a song. If I'm being honest with you here, right? What do you reckon, chat? I can't get Pig Step out of my ears. Other side can use some lyrics. is this other side I've got right now. Yeah, you can have like it's like fading into a biome. There's like something about to happen. And then it's like, I just don't know how you make lyrics from scratch. Like, vote for the leopard, vote for the leopard, vote for the big 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 leopard. He is very good at doing lots of things, but I don't know what they are, but I'm going to rate it. You know, like, could you, is that how you fit it? You just like time it to the beats? Do you time it off the beats? I don't know musical theory, you know, like I genuinely, I think I would assume I was tone deaf. For all the mean things my music teachers have said about me. But I certainly don't have like an appreciation of how music is. I just like music if it's good or don't like if it's not. But yeah, I think, you know, vote for the pig leopard. Yeah, I was definitely saying pig leopard and not big leopard. It's what I was saying, damn it. Those were very touching leopards. Vote for the big leopard. If there's a big leopard, we have to all agree to go for it. The creator of Savannah surely can't be tone deaf. Vote for the big leopard. He is very nice, and I think he has long legs, and he has a big tart. Be funny if he sang a royalty-free country song. Yeah, we'll see what we can get, what we can do legally, and also what we can get away with. Other side's a good contender so far. Yeah, I guess you could make it work. Traveling through mount. Okay. So I'm gonna use Yaya's Yayason. Okay. So let's try it. Let's go back like 10 seconds. Traveling through mountains, they are very big now. Vote for the big leopard. He has a very big heart, and I love him so much. You should vote for him now, otherwise we'll have another phantom in the game. He is a very bad mob, and you shouldn't vote for him. Vote for the good mob. He is a very good mob. I love him so much, and I'm traveling through the mountains. Right now, I think this is just about as good as we can do right now. I guess it's just the same for pizza. It's a little bit, I guess you need something more in there, right? You can, but yeah, I like the idea of using other side as a backing and just trying to like, just time it to the beat. I'll ask someone who knows music how that actually works. How did you come up with all of that on the top of your head? 11 out of 10. I hope that you're having a great evening, internet. I am going to be building something out of gravel or deep slate soon. I know music. If you know music and you just tell me how to make Other Side into a song about a mob vote, when that happens, obviously if we find something we care about enough. If it's just 3 golems, I guess the song would be don't vote for the golems, vote for the big leopard instead. But yeah, I hope that you all enjoyed. This was a short little live stream to make up for the fact that I couldn't do the mushroom biome that we were looking forward to. So yeah, I will be streaming Starfield next week if you're curious. I don't know how that's gonna go. I just like playing open world not open world RPGs. And also I'll be back in the Let's Play world before now. I think there's a video you should go watch. I probably don't have a video coming out tomorrow. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. And on Saturday, I'll be responding to all the Minecraft leaks. If you're curious, that's my little schedule for now. Thank you to everyone who came up and showed... everyone who came here today. I appreciate your patronage. And yeah, you allow me to do what is my dream job. And even sometimes not do the things that I'm meant to do in my dream job. And I appreciate that a lot. Thank you for enabling me to do my best, and I hope that you do your best in general, unless doing your best means harassing strangers, making their day worse. But anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. See you next time.